What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage, man. The more they try to make this guy look like an idiot, the more he consistently wins. He literally has the other side running around with their heads cut off, just looking foolish. I feel bad for them at this point. Tariffs are at 145% on China. That means they're not importing anything here. We're going to get into all of that and more, and how your iPhone just got saved from being $2,300 when you buy it in October this year. The dude, look, either the guy is extremely smart or he's got some of the best people around him, literally avoiding every single pitfall that would make the general public pissed at him. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. So welcome on back to TK's Garage. So look, it's not looking so good for China right now. Small clip coming from ABC News. I'm going to roll that for you here.
President Trump placed a 145% tariff on Chinese imports. And now we're learning of a possible reprieve on certain products. ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang has the latest from Washington.
Hey, Ike, as the U.S.-China trade war heats up, the Trump administration is exempting smartphones, laptops, and other electronics from his reciprocal tariffs.
So as you can see, we're at 145% tariff. They're at 125% tariff. But Trump was smart. He literally exempted laptops, cell phones, smart glasses, Bluetooth, stuff that Americans buy on the electronic side that would actually be a pain point and probably piss off a lot of the public, like people that own iPhones, for example. Yeah, they're exempt from the tariffs. You know, the people in Canada have to be super pissed that, you know, a lot of consumer goods are getting that pass from China, electronic goods, but cars in Canada aren't. Ugh. But China is starting, as much as a lot of these experts are saying, oh, you know, this guy is a bipolar at the wheel and he's just, you know, on, off, on with the world's economy. No, he's actually being smart. We're going to get into all the countries that want to make a deal and do everything else, but let's get into what it looks like at Chinese ports right now. Roll it. So literally the ports from Shanghai to Hong Kong are stacked this high. You know, to give you an example, like in Long Beach, I believe they only allow you to stack them like 3 high or 4 high, something along those lines. But we're looking here and they're stacked 10, 15 high. Ports completely full. You got ships stuck in the port, stacked full. And it's not going to stop anytime soon. The ships are literally anchored offshore waiting in Shanghai, in Hong Kong. I don't think this is a win for China at all. So you can say whatever you want. Right now, there's no ships. Shanghai, Hong Kong, I don't care. They're not leaving ports. They're literally just stacked up outside waiting. Containers stacking up upon stacking up. Xi Jinping has a very limited amount of time to make a deal. See, they're on the verge of another Tiananmen Square. And what I mean by that is, when you take people that are used to a certain amount of income, whether they're not really getting paid a lot or whatever anyway, and even the economic elites in China are saying the same thing. Listen, I don't speak Mandarin for no reason. Yes, I did it primarily for the government for a long time, But I have friends that live in the economic zone. That's where your cell phones are manufactured. That's where electronics are made. That's where your iPhones are made. That's where they ship your iPhones back to be refurbished before they come back to an Apple store and they give it to you as a replacement when you break your phone under Apple Care. I know people in these different areas, okay? What I find interesting here is all of these people are starting to get worried because they see a lot of other countries are starting to make deals. And the president was very clear about that. Before I get into all the countries that are making deals, let me let the president speak for himself.
China, sounds like you were talking to some before you left for both.
We're talking to a lot of countries, and ultimately, we pretty much can do what we want to do, but we want to be fair. We can set the tariff, and they can choose not to deal with us, or they can choose to pay it, and that's where we are. We can set the tariff, or we can do it a number of different ways, but that seems to be appropriate. And they can pay it or negotiate it, or they can not pay it. They can just say we can't do business with them. If they think it's too high, they don't have to do business with us. But I don't think anybody would think that. Actually.
Is 10% the floor, Mr. President? You think?
Pretty close, yeah, I would say.
Pretty close to the
There
floor.
could be a couple of exceptions for obvious reasons, but I would say 10% is a floor.
Are you wanting to get to the table with China, or are you comfortable with the tariffs with where they're
I'm
at
very
right
comfortable.
now?
I mean, honestly, I'm very comfortable now, but I've always gotten along well with President Xi. We had a good relationship, very good, and I think something positive is going to come out of that.
Are you done with that level? Their last response, I think, brought theirs to
We're going to see what
125.
happens. I mean, look, China is it's a very big, great country. It's a very good leader, a very smart leader. It's a different form of leadership. It's a different form of government. But
A lot of the markets today and this week.
which one?
The markets this week and the
Well, I
reaction.
think the
to
markets
tariffs.
were solid today. I think people are seeing we're in great shape. We have, we're making a lot of money as a country now for the first time in a long time. We were losing billions of dollars a day, and now we're making billions of dollars a day. It's a big difference. And we then brought it down to 10%. And so that made it a little bit less, but I did that because I wanted to be fair to other people, to other countries.
So as you can see, he doesn't look like he's going to budge on any of this stuff. Yeah, there's a 90-day pause on the countries that contacted and wanted to work with the president so they could work out a deal. I think that's smart. When you see countries like the EU offering no tariffs, I mean, I'll put it up here for you. It's on the screen probably. The EU, no tariffs. Other countries, just you can just list down the list. Vietnam, Korea, Japan, no tariffs. What? Look, the last time that happened, the middle class, or the class that most of the people that watch these videos are from, the class that works every week, lives paycheck to paycheck, tries to save a little to have a vacation in the summer or whatever, saw a 30% increase in their lifestyle, in the amount of money that they were able to make. It was a big economic boom. Is that going to happen again? I think if the president is given the time to do what he needs to do here, and the Treasury Secretary and Commerce and whatnot get their deals squared away in this 90-day period, yeah. And who's going to be hurt by this? China. China 100% will. Because China's not dumb. They'd try to be smart, right? They own a lot of factories in Vietnam. They'd try to move production there, but that takes years. They'd have to try to move production there to try to avoid tariffs. China doesn't have years. They have months. They have a failing real estate market. They're about to be going through, or they have been trying to stave off their 2008 for a long time. A long time. And now it's coming to fruition. So when they get into a massive recession, I don't want to say they get to a depression. I think they could figure that out, and they play with their currency and they do all kinds of crap. But China doesn't really have any wins here. If they try to do military action or like act out by maybe going after Taiwan, we're going to defend them as a country, the United States. We get into a shooting war or a hot war with China, we're not paying that debt. They can sell all the bonds, which they're doing, by the way, that they want, which does increase interest rates and other stuff for us here. But it also puts them in more economic peril, okay? And I've seen the experts and other people say, well, the EU and other people will just start selling our bonds. No, they won't. I'm going to tell you right now, if the EU is serious about, oh, okay, well, we're going to sell all the American bonds. We're going to call in this debt. Cool. We're not going to be part of NATO. Good luck with Russia. Not going to happen. They don't have, even if you combine all the countries in Europe, they don't have the military might, even with how good the UK is and how good the French Air Force is. They can't do it. Russia would knock them out, be done. And don't think Putin ain't hoping for it. Putin is sitting over there waiting for people to make the wrong decisions against Trump right now. He's over here doing this about China. Because as much as China and Russia are allies, they really don't like each other. That's just a fact. They really don't. Russia looks at China envious that they got to keep their system and do their things their way, and Russia had to change. Putin's old school. But I digress. When you have 50 countries on deck to make deals, he can now take his time, announce a deal with Japan, announce a deal. Like, this is how it's going to work. And they could have deals done right now in stone, and they're still not going to announce them. Because he's playing the long game, especially when it comes to the media and the markets. Watch what I tell you. It's going to be, oh, we did a deal with Japan. Look at this. It's such a huge deal. We pay no tariffs. Our cars can now go to Japan. You already know how he is, right? It's going to be funny. We made such a great deal. We made such a great deal with Japan. And then maybe something comes out negative in the press that he's not happy about. Maybe it's immigration or something else. Oh, we made such a great deal with Korea. Knocks that story out because we're talking about Korea and the great deal that was made there. Market gets another boost. Oh my God, 2 days later, we have an awesome deal with Vietnam. We made a deal with Thailand. And it's every couple days. Bang, bang, bang. And what's it going to do? The market's going to do this every single time. He's playing the market smartly. And what's going to happen is the market's going to see all-time highs. And again, his opposition, the other side that made this is why you have to be careful about making something an issue with this guy. Because when you make it an issue, he'll make you look like a fool over it. And right now, he's making members of Congress and senators look like absolute fools that oppose his policy. And he's going to continue to do it. Do I agree with everything that the president does? Nope. But there are things that I do agree with. I don't like the over-regulation of vehicle emissions and all the other crap and the stuff that they're trying to roll back. I like that. Tax cuts, I know you're going to say, well, TK, it's because you make a ton of money. You know, rich people, this benefits rich people more than it benefits poor people. Wrong, but okay, I'll give you that if that's what you say. Yes, I get a massive tax break. Yay. Okay. I like some of the stuff that happens with veterans, benefits for guys that need that. I like the policies of, we're not going to get into wars because people don't want to FAFO with this guy. There's a lot of things that I like. Do I like the posting at 2 o'clock in the morning calling somebody an asshole? No. but the ends justify the means, I guess, is the best way for me to say it. You know, when I served as a contractor and in different places, and when I used to deploy overseas to do stuff, I didn't always do things the correct way. I'd be called a bull in the china shop. Sometimes I would just run through shit to get things done. And the end result was good. It just looked bad as I did it. Does that make sense? I think Bill Maher summed it up the best this week. I saw some clips from him where he had dinner at the White House. And it was like, oh man, I hate when I drop my AirPods. And it was like a light went off for him. Now, full disclosure, Bill Maher is not like, I mean, he is a super liberal, but he's not like your AOC. He's not a communist. I guess I'll say that. He's not a communist. So it's just interesting to see as people actually get to know the person and not the stuff that the media pushes. They get to see what's up. And yeah, anywho's, I think we have some bright stuff ahead. I think over the next 2 weeks, we're going to start seeing stuff about deals getting done. And I think we're going to be in a much better place, both with the market and with how we prosper as a country moving forward. And that includes the automotive sector. On that, you know, I had a lot of people asking me, and I can't give you financial advice. I'm just going to say this again. Hey, I should have sold my 401k I should have cashed out my 401k when the market went back up. No. Like I'm telling you, I only can tell you what I'm doing. I'm not cashing out shit. You know, did I do some stock trades that morning and buy stock? I was very clear about that. I did. And I sold, and I kept the stock that was basically free to profit. I kept that, and I'm going to hold it. I will say this. Me personally, for me, it makes sense for me to hold because I know I've seen this story before. I saw it in 2008. I saw it during COVID, and I'm watching it right now. And yes, it's down, comes up a little bit, down, comes up back to, you know, like 39,000, somewhere around there. But watch what happens. The first deal is going to get made, boop, over 40,000. Next deal is going to get made, 41. Next deal is going to get made, 43. We're going to start hitting all-time highs. That's what I see. Again, not financial advice, not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I'm doing. Anywho's, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Have a great rest of your weekend. And as always, stay petty, my friends.